And we're back.
Oh, yes, here I am again.
The honk of approval from a fan, no doubt.
Hey.
But yeah, we're having to do the intro again because I forgot I hadn't turned the microphone on.
It has been a while.
But yeah, so almost 2.5 years since we last met each other in person. We're back again doing, I guess by popular demand.
More Sonic stuff because I thought, why not?
And he's wearing the same shirt he was last time.
Yep, it's still going.
I didn't have a Sonic shirt, so I'm just wearing my PlayStation hoodie. But yeah, before we get into the movie itself, we should talk about the fact that, unknown to us, this was by accident, we happened to go and see this movie on the day of the Brighton Marathon.
Bit of a tricky situation for us to get here.
We both had difficulties in our own ways. Ben gets the train in, so we had to walk from the train station to the Odeon, which, how far of a distance would that be? At least half a mile.
Yeah, half a mile, 15 minutes, but contraflow to literally everyone in the universe going the opposite direction.
Like, the streets were basically like a big ant farm, and everyone was going in the opposite direction Ben was going, so that was definitely like fighting the tide. And it's all downhill, so that made it even worse. And as for me, I drove in like I normally do, and once I actually got here, it was a pain in the arse, because obviously the sat-nav has no idea which streets were closed for the marathon or not. So I had to figure out a way to get to the car park, which took forever, and then when I finally did get here, I had to wait for 5 minutes before I could even get in, because everyone was leaving. But, you know, we finally managed to get in. I arrived just about a minute or two into the previews.
Yeah, just in time.
Yeah, and we finally saw the movie.
Did you want to see it? After seeing it?
I think, to be honest, I probably would have seen it anyway, just out of curiosity, and because everyone on my Discord's been going on about it, so...
Hello, Discord.
Yeah, so I probably would have talked about it just so that I could join in the conversation. But, yeah, I think my sort of overall opinion... That was a car going by. My overall opinion is more or less the same as the previous movie, but like slightly down from that. Yeah,
it may be because I've gotten a bit older, a bit wiser, but that was a movie and a half, wasn't it? Is that what they're all like nowadays?
Well, the last movie I saw in the theatre was Spider-Man No Way Home, and that was really good. Okay. So there's someone just getting in their car next to us, don't mind that. But yeah, it's sort of like, this is the same way I kind of felt about the last movie, is that I wouldn't say it's bad, but I don't know if I would necessarily say it was good, at least for my sense of taste, really.
It is of an eclectic taste, like the coffees Dr. Robotnik likes.
Well, it's like, with this movie, at least with the first movie, you could tell that they had a very concrete story and they mostly kept focus with it. This one is all over the place.
It has a dozen subplots and all of them are like, okay, this is where we're going with it now?
Yeah.
It kept me constantly guessing, oh my god, how far are they going to get away with this one?
So yeah, we'll get into the recap of the plot. So it's basically, it starts off like it was with the end of the last movie. Sonic is still living with James Marsden and his wife, and they seem to be getting on. I missed out the bit with Robotnik at the beginning, because that was the cold open before the actual credits rolled.
I'm still alive, I'm playing Mousetrap times 1000.
Well, it's Mousetrap / Back to the Future and Wallace and Gromit opening. So it's basically he's using the mushrooms in the mushroom world to create a means of making himself breakfast in the morning and also make a trap that allows him to leave. So basically, he sets a trap that opens a dimensional portal, and a bunch of people who you pointed out might be a reference to Golden Axe.
Yes, because they're bipedal blokes who Robotnik outsmarts, and then they're never mentioned again because out of the same portal steps Knuckles.
Yes.
Played by all people by Idris Elba.
Yeah, so Idris Elba Knuckles comes out because I guess because Robotnik used the quill he got from the first movie as a way of making the trap, and I guess Knuckles sensed the power or something like that. And he was just like, where did you get that? And so Eggman agrees to help him find Sonic, whilst also inserting a meme, which was quite early, but then again, the last meme they used in the last movie was quite early on, but this was even earlier. So why don't you say it?
Well, I don't know the way. Which is the way to the meme?
Yeah, so they do the Ugandan Knuckles meme. Well, it's more subtle this time. It's not like where they outright showed a picture of Sonic. This one is where Knuckles goes, "Where is Earth?" and Robotnik goes, "I will happily show you the way." So this one was a bit subtler, but at the same time, the fact that it happened so early, it kind of shows that this is a movie where they're throwing everything at you as quickly as they possibly can.
Because we've got 2 hours of runtime and several subplots to fill.
Yes, we do.
Number 1, Sonic is still a kid and he's still being an arse, which actually is correct.
It is
his
consistent.
character.
It's consistent with his character. So James Marsden and his wife go on holiday, and Sonic basically uses this as his opportunity to do a Kevin McAllister and do whatever he wants alone in the house.
Which is completely wiped away because obviously he can clean up as fast as he can wreck stuff.
Exactly. So it's not really a big problem. During that time, Tails then shows up, like we saw in the stinger of the last movie. He shows up, and it's weird how he's the only one who's voiced by the voice actress who plays him in the video games.
Yeah, and well, I suppose auditions dictated that she was the best fit for the role, which
I
she
suppose,
was.
and to be fair, she did place Tails in the stinger of the last movie, so I guess they wanted to be consistent.
You there, can you spout exposition? Oh boy, can I?
Yeah, exactly. That's basically Tails' whole job in this movie.
Like the lovely nerd he is.
So Tails shows up, and but Knuckles and Robotnik arrive at Sonic's house first and start trashing it. It's interesting, like what they're kind of doing with Sonic and Knuckles is I realized what they're sort of doing is a similar thing that they do in DC Comics, where in the Flash storylines, the Flashes are powered by what's known as the Speed Force, which is like an extra dimension that gives them their speed powers. They invented this other thing where the opposite of that is known as the Still Force, where the people who have that power are really slow, but they're also super strong. Of course, that doesn't necessarily apply to Knuckles because he's also very fast. But so Knuckles shows up, fights Sonic. We don't exactly know why he's fighting him just yet, because they haven't quite given the backstory yet, but they're just fighting.
His fists were made for punching, and that's just what he'll do.
Which is funny, because the way they animate him, his boxing gloves that he always wears, they look quite soft and padded.
Yeah, but then don't all gloves, except for the ones with giant spikes on them.
Yeah, well, even the spikes look like they're only just sponge filled, so I don't know what was going on with that. But either way, they start fighting. Tails shows up and obviously helps save Sonic, even though, of course, Sonic doesn't know who Tails is, but he's like, well, how much worse can my situation be?
Yeah, so wrecking several vehicles in the process.
Yeah, so that was a pretty decent chase scene, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, they get away, and then, like Ben said, Tails spouts off the exposition that he basically is all he exists in this movie to do, really. So why don't you go into the exposition he gives? Because it's basically...
I'm your biggest fan. I live here in Planet Not Named. Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, they still don't call it Morbius or anything
Mobius,
yet.
no. It's just, I live here. Everybody else lives here. That's all good. So, I'm here to stop Knuckles from finding the Master Emerald. Ooh. And I found you, giving you the plot. And then Sonic goes, oh well, you might as well help me. At which point Tails goes, no, that's my character done. What do you mean I have to help you? And away they go on their lovely adventure.
Yeah. So, like, on the basis level, this is basically the plot to Sonic 3.
Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic Adventure, take your pick.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of elements from other Sonic games in here, but on a very base level, it's the plot to Sonic 3. So Knuckles thinks that Sonic is the bad guy, teams up with Robotnik, and Sonic and Tails then go and try and find the Emerald to both prove to Knuckles they're not bad guys and also stop Robotnik from getting it. That's basically the plot in the basis level, but like we said, there's a ton of subplots in this movie going on, and they keep jumping in between them, and it makes the movie very schizophrenic.
Yep, we go to Siberia, which is a case of ice cap meets, oh dear, this isn't a very good thing to be using angry Russians in our movie right now.
Yeah, but you have to.
But it's all right because they just want to do a dance-off.
But you have to imagine it was probably written before any of the stuff that's recently happened. So they was probably like, well, this is a bit awkward, but we can't really go back and change the movie, so we'll have to just let it stand as it is. And you made a joke when they started doing the Russian dancing, oh, where's Dave Chapman?
Yeah.
And I pointed out, no, that was Ian Kirkby.
It's been a while, but happy 20th anniversary.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so they go to site, because basically it turns out that Longclaw?
Longclaw the owl is apparently and her species were in a bitter fight to the death with the Echidna tribe. Insert name here, whose names are like Pachachamak or whatever.
The only other echidna I know in the series is Takal, who is like the female echidna who shows up sometimes.
She's probably been in the Master Emerald all this time going, what on earth's going on here?
Yeah.
But that's for another movie.
Probably. But so basically, which is actually a nice little bit of callback, because the army who were chasing Sonic in the beginning of the first movie were the echidnas.
Yes.
So that was a nice little nod.
They had it all planned.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, apparently Longclaw left a map to find the Master Emerald to keep it out of Knuckles' hands.
And what better place to put it than Earth?
Yep. But so first place they go to find it is Siberia, where they basically get in. It's essentially like the scene from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, where Pee-wee goes into a biker bar and he starts dancing to try and gain their respect.
Right.
I mean, it's a little bit like a repeat of the bar scene from the last movie, but that's what came to my mind when I was watching it.
Down to the same set and everything.
It's the exact same set from the first movie.
It's cheaper.
Yeah,
It's cheaper.
They redid it, obviously, to make it look like it was a different place, but you could tell it was the same bar. But yeah, so they get through that with a dance-off, because of course there has to be a dance-off in the movie.
Because it was either that or they were being burned as heathens.
Yeah.
Again, lovely and culturally interesting. Moving on, we have a nice attack, fight, because we found the map to wherever this lovely island is.
Yeah, so Robotnik basically tracks Sonic and shows up to attack him and Tails. In the process, they do a nice little reference to the opening of Sonic Adventure 2, with him snowboarding on a piece of wreckage, although it's actually a mountain instead of a city.
A bit of Ice Cap Zone in Sonic 3
A little bit of Ice Cap Zone, yes. But it did remind me a lot of the opening of Sonic Adventure 2.
It's at this point that Tails is out of action for about 20 minutes because we've decided, oh wait, the humans still exist and they need to earn their money, so let's have the most chaotic subplot I've ever seen.
I don't even remember how Tails got knocked out. That scene happened so eclectically, I don't even remember really what happened.
Neither do I.
But either way, yeah, so basically the subplot of James Marsden and his wife is that they've gone to Hawaii for their sister's wedding.
The crazy woman who was constantly
tied to a chair
in
the first movie,
and she doesn't get any better this episode, poor woman.
No, she's still pretty crazy, which doesn't help by the fact that Sonic uses the ring to go to Hawaii in order to meet them, to get away from Eggman and
the avalanche.
Yeah, which he brings with him,
destroying the wedding, poor sod.
And it turns out that the whole wedding was a sting by the government who were chasing him in the first movie to try and find Sonic.
Because they took one whiff of aliens and went, yep, it's time to unite as a force and just trap this hedgehog.
And they actually do another reference to Sonic Adventure by calling the organisation GUN.
The Guardian Units of the Nations, and oh dear, it's all tangling together.
Yeah. This movie has so much fan service from the games, which normally I like, but there's a lot of fan service that doesn't feel like it has any weight to it. Like they just threw it in for the sake of appealing to the fans.
Well, in the case of GUN, they're setting it up for other things.
Well,
we'll get to
that later. But yeah, so they capture Sonic and Tails, and Robotnik and Knuckles manage to find where the Master Emerald is hidden, which leads to a labyrinth
zone. It's in an island over there. Oh, yes, there it is.
Yeah, it happens to be an island that's only off the coast from the Hawaiian island that they happen to be at. What are the chances?
I was going to say, the Japanese fleet might have stopped there on the way to Pearl Harbor and gone, shall we look at that? Nah. All mystical force that could blow up our city? No, don't worry about that.
But yeah, basically it leads to a labyrinth / marble zone reference.
Quite literally. Well, we were making references to the Crystal Maze until they actually made it a Crystal Maze.
And Jungle Run, yes.
Yes.
And with the way Jim Carrey looks in the movie, he basically is Richard O'Brien with a moustache.
He was,
I mean, granted, we look like if you split Richard O'Brien in two, he's got the height and physique, and I've got the hair of Richard O'Brien.
Will you start the fans, please? No, we don't have any fans.
Yeah. But basically, yeah, they find the Master Emerald, and Sonic... Actually, one of the things I did like about the movie was that they didn't add in some kind of development for Tails where he felt useless or like he'd let Sonic down. Most of the drama actually comes from Sonic and how he feels he let Tails down.
Yeah, well, mainly because he's dead for half the film.
Well, yeah, essentially,
but
yeah.
it's all right because he has all these lovely gimmicky gadgets that let the two leading ladies do some stealth tactical action to save them.
Yeah, there's like 20 minutes of the movie where you don't see any of the like actual Sonic characters, which it's nice that they give focus to the supporting characters, but it's like, it's not what we came here to see.
It's fine, the animation artists had cramp. I can't blame them.
I mean, to be fair, I think that the graphics in this movie are slightly worse than they were in the last movie, but we'll probably get to that a little later on.
A bit interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically Sonic... Actually, another thing they introduced from the game that actually did have a bit of a payoff is that they established Sonic can't swim.
Yes.
Which, that actually was kind of clever. The only thing I really regret is that they didn't include the that bit of music that when you actually start drowning. There's even a bit later on in the movie where he actually sucks in a bubble to keep himself under the water.
Yeah, I think our lovely musical person, Tom Holkenborg, was busy ripping songs from here, there and everywhere because the first movie was a success. They had to spend the budget on something.
Yeah, there's so many licensed songs in this movie. Run DMC, Barracuda, what were the other ones that were in there?
Walk, is that what it's called?
What was that one?
When, quite literally, Eggman is walking... Well, I'm terribly sorry, Chaos Robotnik, as he's known in this one.
We'll get to that later, yeah.
Yes.
Which there will be major spoilers. We kind of already gotten into that, but you can probably guess that was what was going to happen. But yeah, there are lots of licensed songs in this movie, and unfortunately they don't have quite the same sort of payoff that the last ones did. They just feel like they've been inserted in there. But either way, yeah, they arrive at the labyrinth where the crystal is kept, and
don't worry about
a bunch of kids running around in the car park. But basically, yeah, they find the emerald, and obviously, as you would expect, Eggman betrays Knuckles, and in something I did not quite see coming, because they've not really done this in the games, as far as I can tell, he absorbs the power of the Master Emerald into himself.
Yeah, he usually uses it for machines, but in this case we're like, well, we have Mad Jim Carrey, let's just stick him in a bubble because that's COVID safe and let him do what he wants.
Which, to be honest... I have to do that to keep the light on.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't the biggest fan of Carrey in the last movie, I felt like he was reined in just enough to the point where he didn't feel like he was too annoying. This movie, the director clearly said, you were good in the last movie, just go completely mad and do whatever you want.
Which he did to the point of grating on occasion.
He was rather annoying quite often. There were some parts where he made me laugh, but most of the time he was just really irritating. And
any outstanding moments spring to mind, or?
Mostly some of the stuff near the end was mostly pretty good.
Ah, right.
But yeah, it's like, and actually some of the bits during the beginning where he does the trap, that was all right. But it's like, there's a part in the chase scene where Knuckles first arrives, where he's on the dashboard, the bonnet of the car that Sonic and Tails is in.
God, yes.
And he straight up starts licking the windshield.
As if he's a rabid raccoon.
And it's just like, what the hell are you doing?
Get off, quite literally.
But yeah, it's like, I mean, even then, it's like, I was never a fan of the idea of Carrey playing Robotnik, because, like, whose idea was that? There's no parallel in that kind of casting whatsoever. But in the first movie, he did okay. This movie, he definitely needed to be reined in more.
I think he's done now. I think he's done.
Well, they imply that he's dead at the end, but
I mean, his career. I think he's done now.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is true.
He's happy now.
I mean, it's like... his career sort of peaked with Truman Show, and then after that he hasn't really done anything that significant since.
I'm surprised he's gone on this long, and okay, it's partially our fault that we made him successful again with this.
And actually, the sad thing is, Truman Show showed that he can do more laid back and more down to earth roles well. But we're getting off topic.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So Robotnik absorbs the power of the Chaos Emeralds and basically turns into a cross between Electro from Spider-Man and Ermac from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, he has green electricity, he has a doubled voice, he floats around, he has telekinesis and has the ability to create things out of nowhere.
You've got all the machines I need. Yoink. And lo and behold, he makes a giant Death Egg robot.
He makes the Death Egg robot from the games.
Which is the best looking thing in the film.
It actually does look really cool. I mean, it doesn't necessarily look realistic. You don't necessarily believe it's there, but it looks really nice.
And this simple-minded bloke was like, oh yeah, that comes together quite nicely. That's cool.
What was his name? Stone, Agent Stone.
Yes,
yeah.
he's forever bromance, yeah.
Yeah, he's in this movie a lot as well, and he gets an occasional chuckle as well.
Yeah.
The one moment where we were like, oh wow, they really did that, was when he pulls out the instruction manual for the Death Egg, and it's designed to look like the instruction manual for a Sega Genesis game.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Like, when are you going to get to this? Oh, you did get to the next level.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
But yeah, so Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Sonic saves Knuckles' life in the labyrinth as it starts collapsing.
And there's drowning.
Yeah, exactly. And so basically all three of them are like, let's be friends now. So they go to where Robotnik is, and then they have the big final battle.
Making a giant hole in Montana.
Yeah. Was like, first they basically do some Sonic Heroes stuff.
Yeah.
Which I'm actually kind of a little disappointed that Knuckles didn't put Sonic and Tails on his fists like he did in the game. Because that was always my favourite part of Sonic and Heroes.
I was going to say, Tails never actually really went into a ball in this one, really, despite being...
Well, actually, let's be frank, he didn't do much of anything in this movie.
No.
He was really a third wheel, which is really unfortunate, because I always liked Tails, but he didn't do a whole lot, and it's really a shame.
Really, really tiny things like giving gadgets to him and making them fly over here and
making the tornado out of nowhere. I mean,
no, stealing the plane from Hawaii.
Yeah, there was a plane in Hawaii. Screen. Yeah, and there's like two shots where you see a biplane in Hawaii, and it's clearly meant to be the tornado, and then he retrofits it to actually become the tornado.
Not that it matters, because it takes about 5 minutes before it's shot down anyway.
Exactly. So it's like, what the hell was the point?
Never mind.
But yeah, so they fight Robotnik, and they manage to get Tails and Knuckles inside to distract him long enough for Knuckles to punch him once, and that gets the emerald out of him.
It was a very big punch.
Yeah, but like you said, it's like, oh, that was easy.
Yeah, exactly. I thought he might have fought back, but then we've got another 5 minutes of this fight scene to get over with.
Yeah, so you think it's over, but it's not quite. And
because somehow the Death Egg's still standing, even though it's not being powered by an almighty power.
Well, he said go to auxiliary power.
That's a lot of auxiliary power.
I know, it's sort of like...
I shouldn't be thinking of the logic in this film. It was crazy as hell.
But it is kind of like, how much auxiliary power do you need to keep that thing up?
Stompy, stompy.
But yeah, so they go into the Montana mountainous area.
Sonic is done because he obviously has took the blooming breath out of him, so he's crawling like Metal Gear Solid 4 through the microwave sequence, trying to get to the Master Emerald.
Yeah, it is a little. Actually, to be honest, the shot where the Death Egg rises up from the dust as he's crawling along, that was a really cool shot.
Very cool indeed.
But yeah, so
but don't worry, folks, he's saved by the power of Chevrolet.
Yeah. Yeah, so James Marsden and his wife show up in a big Chevrolet pickup truck to pick up Sonic, who now does have the Master Emerald.
He's got there. He's been squished. Oh, no, he hasn't been squished with his family in a ring of fire. Oh, we forgot to mention, because just to make it a bit more perilous, the Master Emerald shattered.
Well, they do explain earlier in the movie that the Master Emerald was forged from the 7 other Chaos Emeralds.
That'll do.
They never established the idea of what the emeralds could do, because you can probably guess where this is going. The emerald shatters and the other 7 pop out of it, and then the Death Egg stomps down on Sonic, but lo and behold, he has become the almighty Super Saiyan, Sonic.
Yes, that's the one. And yeah, it's suitable enough. Goes up, outsmarts the Death Egg, outsmarts old lovely Eggman, and does the lovely shoe tap and sends Jim Carrey's career squirting into the dust.
I mean, it is cool to have Super Sonic, but this was not set up at all, and only happens in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah,
so
and as you say, it's not really set up at all, and
So
it's down to the audience to believe, oh yeah, Sonic, Supersonic, I know that from...
So it's kind of cool to see this happen, but obviously we've played the games. We know this could happen. If you're a kid and you haven't played the games and you've only watched the movie, this comes right the hell out of nowhere.
But I suppose that then entices them to play the games, and
I suppose,
vice versa, and it's a full circle.
But even so, it's just sort of like, this probably might have been better if they saved it for the next movie. But either way, yeah, so Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles decide to all live together with Marsden. They play a game of baseball to kind of round up the movie, and that's it.
Yeah.
Or is it?
Oh God, no, it isn't, because we sort of set it up with GUN.
Yeah.
We've sort of set it up with Hawaiian shirt, Olive Garden guy, and of course we get the after credit sequence where
mid-credit sequence
where person of colour goes in and says, well, the bad news is, because we took down Robotnik, we went through the files, and oh dear God, there's this thing that happened 50 years ago. Cut to the Sonic Adventure 2 battle base.
Yeah.
And oh dear Lord, it's a black and red hedgehog.
Yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog is in the movie. For a few seconds, but he is in the movie.
He's there, and he is quite literally a recolor of Sonic in that shot. But
he does look exactly like Sonic. Admittedly, he does, yeah.
Oh, if we're going to start having a faker scenario in the third movie, because yes, there's a third movie, see you in 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of like, I know everyone loves Sonic, Shadow. If I'm honest, I don't really like him all that much. I think he was like a bit too much of a transparent attempt to have an edgy, anti-hero kind of character.
Yeah, but then that was useful for us 20 years ago in the franchise when we were like...
that was the way things were. It was like the late 90s. They had to have an edgelord in everything.
Yeah. We had 6 characters in Sonic Adventure 1. How do we do it again? Oh, I don't know. Let's just make another Sonic. That'll do!
I mean,
excellent.
If I'm honest, I think what they should have done... Granted, this wouldn't have been as popular, so it probably wouldn't have made as many people want to go to the sequel, but what they should have done was have Metal Sonic. He's way cooler than Shadow, in my opinion.
I was wondering whether or not they'll actually go round to that.
I was wondering if Metal Sonic was going to appear. He didn't. I was really hoping it, because all of Robotnik's badniks in these movies look like just generic military drones.
Yeah, a few of them now he's got the Buzz Bomber type ones.
Yeah, they do look like Buzz Bombers, but they're kind of cool.
They're still the generic robots with not as much heart and soul and lovely character as they were in the Genesis games.
Or little animals powering them.
True, although he did say his ultimate intention was to make humans part of his machine.
Well, he said to maintain the machine, so that's kind of the closest thing we get to
Amazon workforce, here we come.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, so that was more or less the movie. Like I said, it's sort of like on par with the first movie, where it was okay. It was definitely better than it could have been. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah,
but I don't think I'd say it was a good movie.
No, unfortunately not. I'm just a little bit let down by this one. I couldn't tell you for why. Again, it's probably because I've gotten older and more insensitive to all this sort of thing. But I'm going to give it 6, and the previous one I got was 7.
Yeah, I'd probably go with 6 as well. That sounds about right for me. It was entertaining in parts, but yeah, this wasn't very good. And I actually think the animation's taken a bit of a back step. Granted, the people who did the animation for the last movie have gone out of business, so they can't do it again. But it just...
Unless they were fired and rehired.
Yeah, but I don't know, it's like the last movie, he looked more cartoony. Now he's starting to look like a hybrid between the way he looked in the first movie and the original trailer Sonic.
I wouldn't have said it was as bad as that.
But he's starting to look more like that. At least that's how I thought he started to look.
If he's going to progress from being a cocky, rambunctious teenager to young adult, which, let's face it, the third movie may come quite a bit young adult if it's going to go down the lines of Adventure 2 and, oh dear God, Shadow the Hedgehog in 06. Because that's the only place they can go with it.
Please don't go to 06, please.
What's that you say? There's this random island where there's a princess involved? Oh, good. Here we go. Mamma mia.
Yeah. But and also, I only just realised that the way they animate Sonic is that he actually has two individual eyes.
Yes.
He doesn't have the connected eyes like the actual game version does. I never actually noticed that.
They probably went through it for the first film, and well, the animation wild ride that was the first film. And
Yeah,
decided,
exactly.
Nah, we can do a little bit different to it, and Sega said okay. So.
Well, and also we didn't mention Elba. He doesn't do a bad job as Knuckles, actually.
No, a little bit grating with the kind of fish out of water and all our Japanese honour and everything.
He's a little bit of a bland... He's kind of bland compared to Knuckles, because Knuckles normally, to his credit, does have a bit of a personality to him. It's like, he is kind of brutish and standoffish, but he's also kind
easy to deceive, etc., etc., as expected with the Knuckles.
Which, yeah, he is... They do make him an idiot and very naive, like they do in the games, but he definitely feels sort of like a samurai or like your typical kind of brutish lone warrior.
Warrior tribe was the two words they probably gave to Idris, and he went, yeah, all right, I'll do something with it.
And occasionally he seems to slip back into his English accent.
Yeah, if you say so.
I felt it was kind of noticeable, but he did an okay job.
Yeah, it passes.
Yeah.
Who the hell's going to voice Shadow next time?
I have no idea.
Will we have the budget for the next time? We shall see.
So we had a couple of trailers. As we only had 4 this time. We had like 5 last time. This one was only 4. First one, what was it?
Puss in Boots.
Yes, which I have seen that trailer already, and actually it does look pretty good.
I was just surprised it was still going, quite frankly.
I think this is like a tease because everyone wants a Shrek 5. It's like, well, we can't give you Shrek 5, but we can give you Puss in Boots 2.
Yes.
And it is also really weird to see Puss in Boots done in the more kind of...
cartoonish style?
Yeah, the more modern style of animation that DreamWorks does nowadays. It looks really weird, but I think it looks like it could be quite funny. And Antonio Banderas is clearly still having a great time voicing the character.
And they do seem to be about 2 steps away from Encanto, or whatever you call it. So
Enchanto.
that's the one.
No, well... It reminded me more of Coco.
Oh, right.
Because Encanto was meant to take place... It was Latin America, but it wasn't necessarily Mexico. Coco was, and that definitely gave a bit of a vibe with Coco in terms of the very Mexican feel to it.
Sure.
But, yeah. Next one was Minions 2, Rise of Gru.
Because who doesn't love a prequel?
Actually, to be honest, compared to the first one, this one looks like it could be at least semi-decent. There were a couple of good jokes in the trailer.
It got more and more Minion-centric as it went on, really.
Well, that's kind of a problem with the Despicable Me franchise as a
in
whole.
itself, exactly, yeah. Even more grating than this
And it's a
film,
tragedy, really, because Despicable Me are like the only good films that Illumination has ever done.
Yeah.
Because I'll stand to the Despicable Me movies, even though 3 I don't think was that great, but they all are legitimately funny movies.
That's the thing. The more interesting thing with the whole company's name is the fact that you can call it Illumination all you like, but you're going to remove the words, and all you're going to see is the word Minion.
Yeah, they literally have Minion in the name of their company.
Yeah.
Which they did that in the trailer.
That's them forever tarnished.
But
Never mind.
yeah, it's like, it looked like it could be at least decent, but it was like... I don't know. I'm not really feeling it.
No.
Then we had the Buzz Lightyear trailer.
Yes, yeah. I'm stuck on Mars. David Bowie blasts out and he goes and does heroic things through space.
The use of Starman was a really good choice of song. My only regret is that I think they're probably going to do with that what they did with using... what was it? Once in a Lifetime from the Wreck-It Ralph trailer, and More Than a Feeling from the Inside Out trailer, where it's only in the trailer and not in the movie.
Yeah.
But whatever. It looked okay, but I don't really want to see it because they've not got Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear. I mean, like, Chris Evans looked like he was doing a decent job, but that was Chris Evans doing the voice.
Right.
Not the ginger one.
No, not that one.
But... it's like, yeah, to me, it's only Buzz Lightyear if he's being played by Tim Allen. Even Patrick Warburton in the TV show wasn't that great of a replacement.
As it is with these Sonic movies, we have to step away from our childhood fantasies and grow up in a harsh reality that we all live in.
I know, but it just seems to me like if you're going to do a Buzz Lightyear spin-off, why not get Tim Allen back? They got Tom Hanks back for Toy Story 4, and the whole movie was basically about Woody. Why not get Tim Allen back? But either way, that one looked like it could be at least okay. And then there was DC Legion of the Super Pets.
That's
which
what it was.
Basically seems like it's just trying to be Secret Life of Pets, but with superheroes.
And infinitely inferior to, or I don't know, the Aristocrats or Cats or something.
I don't know if I would compare it to that.
Oliver's Company, even.
Oliver's Company, that's a better comparison, but
Okay.
It's clearly trying to be Secret Life of Pets to the point where Kevin Hart is in it. He's one of the characters, and that's already a red flag for me because I don't really like Kevin Hart. I don't really find him funny.
They're going to reference that film at some point. And
They have to have
even going to call
referenced,
into question, why did you make it then?
Exactly, yeah, because it is just the Secret Life of Pets, but with superpowers.
I'm going to quote the other anthropomorphic money. We've got to have money.
No, it's like, and it's a shame because Warner Brothers Animation Studio has been doing some good stuff. Like the Lego movies have been really good. Storks was really good. A lot of people didn't really like that, but I thought it was great. But it's just a shame because they seem to be devolving into becoming the next Illumination. Really good animation, but really bad jokes.
And forever tarnished by a certain aspect, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
But, you know, it's sort of like, who knows? And also Dwayne Johnson as the voice of Crypto the Superdogs. That's a bit of a weird choice. I mean, like, he did an okay job, but it's like, I guess I'm always going to think of Crypto the Superdog as the cartoon. And even then, that cartoon wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But and also it's like, if this is meant to be about superhero pets, there are other superhero pets in canon in DC, like Ace the Bat Hound, Beppo the Super Monkey. There's even Bat Cow.
Yeah.
So why didn't they just get those? They would have been way funnier.
There'll be cameos at some point.
Probably. But those were the only trailers we got. So it was basically good trailer, bad trailer, good trailer, bad trailer.
And I think we've probably squeezed the udder of modern cinema there.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so Sonic 2, I mean, it's like the first one I'll probably go back and watch at some point because there were some good things in it.
It seemed to be okay enough for me to get the DVD. This one, oh, you're making me waver on this one, but I'm loyal, so...
The only reason I would want to watch this again is for the fan service, because there was some good fan service in this.
Yeah.
But it was, again, fan service that didn't have any meat to it. The only one that really felt like it had a decent amount of meat to it was the Death Egg robot.
And I don't know if it was the fact that we did the last one pre-Plague, but the grand total of 6 people were with us on this one.
Well, this actually worked out for us because we often talk whilst we're watching the movies quite loudly. And so the fact that there was barely anyone in that theatre, which was one of the big theatres, this was the same theatre I watched Godzilla 2014 in, and there was like only 3 other people in that theatre, and none of them were sitting anywhere near us. So we could say anything we wanted and no one would care.
We took the middle of the theatre, and we made it our home.
So yeah, it's like, it was still an okay movie from my point of view, but yeah, I didn't think it was all that great.
Yeah, low in the first one. The first one was a good opener, and then unfortunately that gave them carte blanche to go a little bit crazy here, there, and everywhere. Like the one endeavouring thing that made me go, what on earth is going on, was that Hawaii subplot. That was where it was like... Yeah,
that was kind of a
pointless... I wasn't expecting this in a second Sonic movie.
That was kind of a pointless subplot. To be honest, you could have pretty much written Marston and his family out of the movie.
I thought they were, but then they came back to them.
Yeah, so... But either way, I don't regret seeing it. It was fine.
No,
but
it's there. It's good.
I don't think I would want to see it again.
No, not really. Sorry. But... as I say, see you again in 2 years for the third one.
Yeah.
Which, oh my lord, what on earth's going to happen there? The world will probably crack open, I suppose.
Well, they did blow up the moon in Sonic Adventure 2.
Yes, I am very, very worried what references they might make to blowing up the moon in that one.
Yeah.
But we'll see where we go.
Yeah, well, see you next time, guys.
Thanks, folks.
Bye.